The exciting thing is they get it that Springfield is truly the capital of Illinois. And more importantly, this is where the elected officials make all the decisions of where your tax money and mine go. And so certainly better government is our right. This would not have been possible today without our very generous sponsors. And let me introduce them. Illini Bank is the gold sponsor. The silver sponsor, the Illinois Association of Realtors, the Ace Sign Company, AT&T, media partner 970 WMAY, media sponsors, the Illinois Times and the State Journal Register. Thank you very, very much. And before we welcome our newest neighbor in Springfield, I'm honored to introduce the CEO and President of the Better Government Association, Andy Shaw.
Thanks, Marilyn. Thank you all for coming. I guess third time is a charm on this event. I think the fact that we tried twice before and landed Bruce the third time would suggest that we have persistence. It's the bulldog quality that I think typifies and symbolizes the BGA. For those of you who don't know much about the Better Government Association, this is not a day for a long explanation, just a brief one. It is a watchdog organization that shines a light on government and holds public officials accountable for a very simple reason. Better government is our right. We send our hard-earned tax dollars to public officials, and we are entitled to have those dollars spent in a way that I developed an acronym for how they need to be spent. It's the word FAITH. Government there must be fairness, accountability, integrity, transparency, and honesty. That's FAITH. There's a sixth letter, it's efficiency. Now, if we were in Great Britain where you could put an E at the end of words, we'd be golden, but now it's the subject of a lame joke that I frequently tell. Thank you for a couple of laughs. This organization was founded in 1923 in Chicago, and for the past 91 years, it has done a variety of things to try to hold government officials accountable. The current iteration of BGA investigates, litigates, educates, advocates, and communicates for better government. We look at the behavior of public officials, and we look at the policies they promulgate. And we assess them in terms of how they reflect on the use of our tax dollars and our expectation of an ethical, moral government. We decided a couple years ago as an organization to establish a BGA office in Springfield for a very simple reason. This is where the most tax dollars are spent and the biggest decisions are made, and there's always a need for more people to watch. So we partner with Illinois Times, the State Journal Register, some of the television stations. They air and print our stories. State Journal Register prints columns I write once a month. And more importantly, over the course of a couple years, we met enough people to establish a Springfield Advisory Board. It is critical that the BGA in Springfield be Springfield-centric and not Chicago-centric. So when I come down here, I take a deep breath and a couple of tranquilizers, and I do everything possible to behave in a much more civilized fashion than I do in Chicago. It's a different community. Government is a center part of your lives here. If you don't work in it or contract with it, someone you know and love or live near does. And so government has to be respected for the good it does, but held accountable for the ways in which it doesn't live up to the expectations. I have the utmost respect for government officials. 95% of them or more give us a day's work for a day's pay. They deserve fair salaries and fair benefits. But as you all know as much as I do, there has been in Illinois for far too long a ruling class of political elite that essentially saw government as a business to enrich them and their friends and families and cronies and contributors. The taxpayers and the public be damned. And that, sadly, is why we are at the edge of the fiscal and ethical cliff in this state right now. And I think that what the voters were telling all of us on November 4th is that they think It's time for someone to try to walk us back from the edge of the cliff, and that's what Bruce Rauner's campaign talked about for all that time, and what apparently the Quinn administration failed to convince people they were doing sufficiently well enough. So here we are. By way of full disclosure, Bruce was a donor to the BGA before he became a candidate. I think he may even say something nice about me and the organization, but we had no conversation about that in advance. I do know, though, that we were deeply appreciative of his support because his support was for what we do, which is the fight for better government. When he became a candidate, that ended, and he ran his campaign and reran our organization, and on several occasions we looked into things he was doing or had done and shined a light on those, as we did on Pat Quinn, and the same will be true of the Rauner administration, which offers us an incredibly exciting opportunity to right the ship of state. And so when they are doing things that fit within our mission, which I think will be frequently, we will be supportive. When they are off the deep end, we will be in their faces, and Bruce can tell you we do it both ways, and that's the way it should be. So it's with great pleasure that our third time is a charm. Thank you all for coming on this third occasion. I think the room being this full tells me that there's a huge appetite, not just in Springfield, but around the state, to hear what the plans are and to give the new gov in town a chance to lead us in the right direction. I know that Bruce is still formulating most of the specifics of the plans, so I suspect that today will be more general, but I do know that what he's been talking about in the last month and will continue to for the foreseeable future is the fiscal peril of Illinois. And so with that backdrop, I give you Governor-elect Bruce Rauner. What I should say is when Bruce is finished, he has agreed to take a few questions. I'll ask one, and then we'll take a few from the audience, but it'll only be a few because he has to get on to other things.
All right, great. Good afternoon, everybody. God bless you. Thank you for your time. I am very excited and very honored to be here. Looking forward to making this my new hometown, January 12th. I'm very excited. I'm going to be coming to you for advice. I want to know where's the best place to get a good burger, where's the best place to get a good steak, where I can run my bird dogs, where's some of the best roads to ride my Harley. I've been around here a bit on my Harley, but I got to learn the roads really well. And I need your advice because we're going to make this home. This deserves to be home. The governor should be run from here. That governor's residents should be treated with respect. We're going to fix it up, make it nice, and we're going to run the government from here. I'm very honored to do that. Now, this is a new world for me. I'm a business guy. I'm not a politician, and you know what? I'm the dog that caught the car. You know what? I caught the car. And my teeth are embedded in the fender, and I'm being dragged down I-55. But you know what? This is a labor of love for me. I love Illinois. I really do. This is home. And I'm a feisty guy. And when my home's threatened, I don't run. I fight back. And I love Illinois. Raised our 6 kids here, built our businesses here. I love it. And I never want to have to leave. I never want any of you have to leave to get a better life for your families or for your careers. And that's why I decided to do this. We have every reason to thrive. Every reason to be the greatest state and the greatest nation on earth. We got the hardest working families. We've got the best location. We've got the most fertile farms. We've had the best infrastructure and some of the best schools. We're letting them rot. We have the capital, the heart of the Midwest, in the Chicago area. We have every reason to be kicking the tails of every other state around. Instead, they're kicking our tails. And you know what? I'm a competitive guy. I don't lose. We ain't going to lose anymore. We're not going to the bottom of the barrel. We're going to the top. And we're going to kick the tails of Indiana and Wisconsin and Iowa and Tennessee. And we're taking their, you know what? We're going to clean their clocks. Companies are coming here. They're not going there. They're coming here. We're going to get in a booming economy. And we're going to have the best schools in America. And we're going to have a government that gets the job done efficiently and provides a good social services safety net, because I believe we should have one. We shouldn't be shredding it like we've been doing for years. We can judge ourselves as a community by how well we take care of our most vulnerable citizens, our citizens in need. But we're going to do it right. We're going to do it well. But we can't pay for it unless we're a booming economy, pro-business, pro-growth, pro-free enterprise, pro-investment, pro-career creation, not just job creation. I don't want people talking about how to get to the minimum wage. I want people blowing by the minimum wage and having real careers. Top priority. We can't fix any other problem unless that's true. I'm very excited and honored to go to work. It's going to be a big team effort. I need your help. We need your input. It's going to be a big team effort. And I'm not a shoot the messenger guy. I love people who tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm missing an opportunity, and respectfully disagree with me. Because I don't have all the answers. And I'm wrong a lot. My wife reminds me of that. But I need you guys. You know what? You've been through the wars. You've been through the battles. You know what's been tried, what fails, what works, what doesn't. I need good communication. This is a partnership. I ain't doing this because I want to run for higher office. My wife would shoot me if I ran for higher office. I have no interest, and frankly, I don't want a political career. This was never my life goal. I'm not going to take a salary or a pension. I'm not doing this because I'm, some advantage. I had to walk away from my business because my business touches the state government. I had to move everything away. I walked away from my, you could say I'm insane. You could question my sanity. I mean, that's a legitimate question. But you know what? This is home. I'm at a stage in life where I can do this. And I'm honored to do it. To me, it's a privilege to work for the people of Illinois. I want to work for every family in this state. I'm very excited and very honored. I believe, as the Bible says, to whom much has been given, from whom much is expected in return. This is my chance to give back with my time and my abilities. I've got God-given abilities. I ain't perfect. I fail sometimes, but you know what? In the long run, I don't fail. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get it right. We got 4 years to get it right. My wife begged me. She said, Bruce, can you get the turnaround done in 4 years, please? And I said, I've got to be willing to serve for 8 years, and I will be willing to serve for 8 years if people want me to. I'm honored and excited, and I will do that. But people will say, oh, that Rauner, he didn't get it right. He's the wrong guy. You're done. You know what? I ain't going to shed a tear. I'll let the voters decide. And being reelected and not on my top 10 worry list. I ain't going to make a decision based upon getting reelected. I'm going to make a decision based upon what's right for the families of Illinois for the long term. That's what's going to decide every policy and everything that we do. Now, I'll tell you, Andy's outlined it. I have been a donor, a pretty meaningful donor, to the BGA in the past. And I checked with our ethics guys. And I've been a big donor to early childhood education, charter schools, teacher training, and I ain't going to change that. The fact that I'm a governor, I'm just going to acknowledge it. And I'm a believer in education quality and education reform. I'm going to keep giving to what I give to. I've been a donor for years. And if Andy will let me, I'm happy to give a lot more money to the BGA. If he doesn't want it, that's fine. But the one thing I want, though, is we need the BGA ripping holes in bad behavior in the government continuously. Because we're going to try to fix a lot as fast as we can, but let me be clear. The bureaucracy is entrenched. The special deals are entrenched. We have mostly great people in our government. I know we do. I've been meeting many of them, but we have some who aren't. We got some who are there for the wrong reasons. We got some who are engaged in bad behavior. Let's find them and expose them and get them out. And the BGA can play a major role in that. And I'm all in for that. And so, we'll figure out. I want the BGA expanded and working and exposing and writing. Because again, I'm not doing this because I want the job or I want my name in the paper. And having my name in the paper ain't good. I want the results. I want this state thriving. Be the best-run state in America, and we can do it. Now, obviously, right now we're in the transition mode. I'm here I've been in Springfield a fair bit in the transition. I'm excited to move in January 12th. We're trying to figure out how we're going to get the remodel done, and while I still live there, I might have to rent a house or a condo, depending on how much we have to rip up some of the work, because the place is leaking and the basement's flooding and the elevator doesn't work, and there's a lot of work, and if there's going to be a lot of dust in construction, then I'm going to have to figure something out. I might call on somebody to give me advice on where we ought to look. My wife doesn't really want to live through it. I said, well, this place is better than my fraternity house. I'm fine living there, but she said no, so we got to figure that out, but we'll work on it. But we're working the transition, and we're in heavy recruiting mode. We're in heavy recruiting mode, and I don't want people who worked on our campaign just because, they worked in the campaign, they're automatic, and I don't want somebody's brother-in-law. I want somebody who's talented. We need talented people back in the government who are there for the right reasons and have deep expertise in healthcare or in education or in agriculture, etc. And if you've got folks, we need the introductions. I want to bring super talented people back to Springfield. I want the government moving back to Springfield, and I want talented people running the government with deep expertise. So if your help, your recommendations, your introductions would be deeply appreciated. Now, right now, we're focused very much on the financial condition of the state and the budget. That's what everybody wants to talk about, and that's lovely. I'm going to focus on the budget, but I'm also going to focus on long-term structural change so we can get away from these structural deficits. I don't want to only talk about what's the Band-Aid,